All right, all right.
Hey, Pontus.
Hello, Alex.
Hey, you can
We
hear me
are.
loud and clear?
I can hear you loud and clear, and you can hear me
Fantastic.
as well.
I can hear you loud and clear, buddy. I can hear you loud and clear.
Amazing stuff. So the tech is all set up, and now we are good to go in 2 minutes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We got 30 odd people joining in already. Fantastic.
Nice. That is amazing. Yeah, it's been a lot of interest to this event, so I'm really looking forward to see how many people that are gonna show up today.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's obviously a pretty hot topic, and things are changing in this space as well. Things are changing.
Yeah, they definitely are. They definitely are. So, how's your day been so far?
My day has been been good. I'm in England, so it's gloomy and grey and rainy as it is here from time to time. But hey, there the sun is shining. It still means to wear a hat indoors, so that comes
Yeah,
down to it.
well,
And
that
how are
sounds
you?
amazing. It's such a difference from like looking at my window as well. It's been like I think it's around 100 centimeters snow. It's been like a blizzard outside today as well. So ice
Oof.
cold. It's white over everywhere, and it feels like we're gonna have winter until like
Oh,
July.
oh, mate, that's what Swedish winter is always like, isn't it? It's summer only for a couple of days in the middle of July, if you're lucky.
Yep, that is true. That is true.
Yeah, it certainly is. It certainly is. Oh,
But it's going to be exciting to talk about this today, and I'm super glad that we had the opportunity to like get this together as well because I think I mean it's super interesting to talk about AI and SEO, and I mean as well what you guys do. I mean it connects so beautiful together.
yeah, exactly right. Yeah, we're kind of living in a world these days where anyone has access to like not just a good web presence, but an exceptional web presence, and it doesn't take that much time out of their day to get it all set up. Because one thing we're all poor on is time. So life's just
Yeah,
getting, in a way, there's people like us that make time less of a commodity, which is quite
yeah,
interesting. But I'm really interested to hear what you're going to lead out with as well.
yeah. So the clock actually hit 5, so I reckon we start this off. What
Yeah,
do you think? Say.
yeah. Let's rip the lid off it, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it. All right. So first of all, welcome to everyone that has joined us so far, and we hope that many more will join this call as well. So we're going to talk about SEO today, AI especially, and Alex invited me to speak about a couple of really interesting strategies on how you can use AI today to, as we pick the title, future-proof your business because talking with hundreds of company owners, marketing directors, I can definitely see that this is something that people are curious about and that almost everyone starts to realize that we need to adapt this fast. Otherwise, we are going to be left behind. I don't know. What is your take about that, Alex?
Yeah, I think how far things have come and shifted and moved in the past 2 years in the SEO space around AI in particular. I mean, it is changing the way that people think. And like I just said before, it's making more time in people's days that when smart tools come out, they probably should be utilized. And when smart teams come around as well, we should utilize those too. But yeah, I think it's a really important way for people to at least give it food for thought,
Yeah,
regardless.
yeah, definitely. So I think that just to start this off, let's do a little bit of an introduction because you guys that are listening to us today will definitely get to know us, but we also want to get to know you guys. So in the chat, I don't know where I'm gonna point right now, but let's say it's might be over here. Put in chat, say hi to each other. Where are you from? What company? What is your position? And use this as an opportunity to network as well because webinar is great. And for me, I personally love to make the webinars I attend interactive. So I will probably ask you a lot of questions. So be ready with your keyboard. And yeah, let's do it.
Absolutely. Sounds good.
So I'm just gonna update my page here so that I can
Also
follow you
saying hi.
live.
Lovely. Hi, Emily. Lovely to have you here.
Very lovely. And we also have my great colleague Max joining us today, moderating the comments as well. So thank you so much for joining, Max. And he will keep you company in the comment section. And for you and me, Alex, let's move forward.
Yeah.
So I can start by introducing myself. Pontus Beckman is my name. I'm right now the country manager of a company called SEO AI. We're a fairly new started tech startup that has had this, tech startup super journey with the growth and stuff. We'll tell you more about that later. But other than that, I've been working with sales marketing for almost a decade. And in the beginning, I were aiming mostly towards sales, but then did get more nerdy when it came to marketing, SEO, growth tech, and also as I put in this text as well, I really like lifting heavy weights. And I am currently active in a couple of companies, the ones that you can see up here. And the SEO AI being the one that I'm focusing the most of my time right now with. And Alex.
A bit about me. Oh, I don't like talking about myself too much. My name is Alex Book. I am part of the Webtec team. I guess you call me a website strategist, and I also assume the role of a salesman from time to time as well. I don't have a decade in sales and marketing because Pontus is old, so I'm essentially still a spring chicken and coming through. But I'm eager, and I'm obsessed with learning
Yeah.
new things, and because I lose sleep over obsessive little learning and curiosities around how I can get better at everything that I do. Look, one of those things that I am starting to become, I wouldn't say an industry expert, but a self-proclaimed expert, enough to be very dangerous, is conversion-focused design and website strategy, and understanding the psychology and science of how humans interact with websites, and how we can really leverage what the leading companies in the world are doing to make our clients and everyone else's websites perform a lot better as well. Um, I also need a new headshot. I realized that that photo of me, I jumped straight out of the surf in Portugal when I took that one. Very Alex S. But I don't wear suit and ties. I much prefer a hoodie and a hat or a flannel shirt. But overall, I'm a pretty nice guy as well. So I'll be really happy to connect with as many of you as possible and have a chat about how we can make it work.
Sounds great. Amazing. Thank you for a really great introduction. And when doing presentations, I usually always want to set the expectations right. So obviously, I want to do the same in this call. So my promise, or can I say our promise?
Yeah, go on.
Yeah, okay. Well, that's nice. So our promise to you guys today is that this presentation will be either the worst presentation you have ever heard, the best presentation you ever heard, or somewhere in between. Sounds good?
Yeah.
All
Very
right.
specific.
Well, let's move forward. So I also want to start with a quick story to tell you a little bit about a recent event, or like multiple events that led me towards hopefully gaining your trust as an expert in this field. Because I'm going to talk about SEO and gaining organic traffic. So I actually have worked with my other company that is a personal training company where I struggled with getting any kind of traffic to my website. I actually have a little bit of an image showing you how bad it actually was. I don't know how much you can see, but almost a year ago from today, this was my reality. And being in that space, I focused a lot of my attention on generating traffic and leads from social media, doing content creation there, also paying for like ads and stuff. But then I met someone that told me that there was other ways to do this. And at that point as well, I worked with this agency that did SEO work and showed me the way that it is actually possible to create good quality traffic in a high volume with that. And you know what happened also at that time, almost a year ago, a little bit more? Something called ChatGTP released, was released to the world. And that was something that really changed my way of thinking. Like, okay, I was a terrible writer. I couldn't write for like anything. But with a tool like that, that changed. So I actually opened that floodgate to try to create content and traffic organically. Then a couple of months later, in springtime, summertime, two good friends of mine, Henrik and Mikael, came to me and told me, Pontus, we have a really cool idea for an AI-based SEO tool that we think you're going to love. Do you want to hear more? And I was like, you know what, guys? I'm good. I know I got this covered. No worries. I got my tools, you know. But they convinced me to take this call, and I agreed. So we took the call. They showed me this amazing tool that I'm obviously using today, that I also used, and that helped me to gain this kind of traffic growth. And I will just let that sink in for a moment. And of course, traffic is something really interesting and really good. But what is traffic if you don't do anything about it? And Alex is going to talk a lot about this later in the call, so stay tuned to the end of this. And for all of you that actually stick to the end of this presentation, I'm actually going to give away how I did it, step by step, a tutorial. So stay tuned, but I also want to show you this. This is a video I shot from my inbox showing my leads that I get from that website at the moment. And to be honest, I don't have time to take care of those leads. So I actually send those leads to my local gym that happily takes them from me. So that's my story. And I just wanted to share that with you, that I'm not just only talking about stuff. I actually done it myself. So the agenda for today, we're going to split it up 50-50 because first of all, you need to get traffic to your website. And then you need to have a website that can actually take care of the traffic. So we decided to like take the traffic first and then do the conversion. Right, Alex?
Yeah. The age-old debate of, is it CRO before SEO or is it SEO before CRO? I guess the novelty is that a website doesn't take too long to build while your SEO starts building.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. And I know that you have a really good saying that you're going to share later on as well. And I really love that example because it's so true.
There's 1,000 ways to say it, mate. There's a lot of ways to skin a cat.
Yeah, that is true. So here you guys have what we're going to cover today, and I'm going to jump straight to it. So first of all, what has happened in the AI world or SEO world? They are actually connected together. So first of all, I told you about the release of ChatGPT in November 2022. And not only that, because I know that that changed the game for a lot of people. And please feel free. How many of you that are watching right now in any way are using AI to help you in any kind of things in your work today? It can be SEO, creating ads, whatever it might be. Just shoot us a comment, do a thumbs up or anything.
Should I put a thumbs up in too?
Perfect, perfect. So other than that, okay, what happened was that search engines started to adapt to this because Google, being a lot of other huge giant in this space, were realizing that AI is the future. We need to build upon that. But they didn't really tell everyone openly about that until like mid of last year. I almost forgot that it's a new year now. But other than that, like companies starting to use AI more and more. And you can see now in the chat, hopefully, if people are honest, that they are starting to use AI. And so we have the release of ChatGPT. We can start seeing like updates and news articles like this and this. And this is something that is very, very interesting that I don't know if people know about. But
No,
Google actually changed their search guidelines.
that's crazy. I didn't know about this until you showed me a few weeks ago.
Yeah. I know, it's crazy, right?
Yeah, because didn't Google used to, there was rumors going around that people wanting to work with SEO and they were getting punished for using ChatGPT, but it's not the case.
Yeah, exactly. I know that, a lot of calls that I had was like people being worried about, no, we can't use the AI. We're going to get banned and flagged and our domain is going to crash and burn basically. But no, that's not the case. Because as the obviously like headlining is, they are rewarding high quality content however it's produced. So I think this is super important to like keep in mind when you're working with this, that you're good to go. But if you want to be smart, I'm going to share some smart things later on as well, how you can safeguard you from if they for some reason would change their minds in the future. Okay, so what is it all about? I would say creating leverage. And I don't know if you agree with me, Alex, on this, but I mean, when you're in business, it's all about trying to find the right kind of leverage. And if you look at how things are moving and how people are like talking and the buzz out there, AI is playing a huge role in creating leverage right now because you can all of a sudden do so many things that you couldn't do before super easily. And I know for a fact that companies that are a little bit too scared to join in and use this, they're going to be left standing and they are really going to regret jumping on a train. So for you, if you are one of the people that are like, I don't know yet. AI is good, but it's scary and I don't know if that's the right thing for a company. Let me just share some insights when it comes to SEO and generating traffic. And this is something that I usually talk about as well, because there's two ways to generate traffic to your website. The first one is other people linking to your website, saying like, hey, look at Alex's website. He's a super cool dude. He talks a lot about CRO. I mean, he's amazing. Look at all the cases and stuff. That is one way.
Too kind.
I don't know. But if you're good at what you do, then you deserve it. The second thing is that people can find you. And this is by Alex writing about a case on a website that he helped improve his sales by like 50-60%. You're finding this by maybe searching CRO optimized website, and it will be a hit. So that's the two different ways. I'm going to talk about people finding you, because the other one, you need to manually ask people, or you need to be so good that they just show you the way. So what can AI do for you? So creating leverage using AI for SEO. And please feel free to jump in with questions if you have anything. Same goes for you, Alex, as well. But these are the 4 points that I like put it down to when I was doing this presentation, looking at like how we help our clients. I mean, it's to use it to hyper efficiently do keyword research and analysis. How you can also create high quality, user-focused content creation. And I mean, data-driven insight and transpotting as well, that's super important because that will help you to understand what you should write about that is like happening around the world right now. And obviously, automation and efficiency.
Yeah, that's exactly right. How long would it have taken you to write a blog post before AI?
I would say that comparing to writing it manually, it would be super fast. But I mean, I usually use ChatGPT in the beginning. also trained being. And to write the SEO optimized article, it took me a couple of hours actually, because prompting it right, getting it exactly as the structure you want, and then to try to get it a little bit more unique. Because I don't know if any of you can like feel that you have seen this, but the content that is generated is usually quite generic. So trying to like give it more information about you in ways to make it unique, that took a lot of time for me. And also to put it into a website, optimize it SEO wise, publish it, put the meta description, keywords, all of that. So let's say like 5-6 hours.
Yeah. It certainly shaves a lot of time off. And same for keyword research. I know firsthand with even helping out my friends with some keyword research, it's just a whole lot easier now. A whole lot easier.
Yeah. It is. It is definitely something that could save you so much time. And I want to go a little bit deeper into this. And I'm so sorry that I have a lot of text. I know if I have people that have trained me on doing presentations before, they're gonna send me a message afterwards saying like, Pontus, what are you doing? But I want to share this with you live on the call as well. And so when it comes to doing hyper efficient keyword research and analysis, so one thing that is super important is to figure out the search intent. So AI can help you go beyond just seeing like it's informational or it's navigational. It can actually tell you and tailor the content that you're going to build upon that based on it. And one amazing thing as well, like, is how you can do competitor analysis. I wish that I could show you like how there is features that could do this in a smart way, but I will say that later. But what it can help you do is basically pinpoint their top performing keywords, identify gaps. You can create strategies based upon that by just looking at it. And obviously, finding something that is called micro keywords now from our company side. It's usually called long tail keywords. But how can you discover that? Because that is definitely a super big gap in the market. I don't know, Alex, have you ever thought about using long tail keywords?
I only use long tail keywords. Yeah, I know firsthand that going after those high difficulty short tail keywords, it makes your hair go grey. You lose a lot of sleep. And you've
Yeah.
deemed micro keywords. I've always wondered about micro keyword just to think what exactly you're talking about. But I'm glad that now you've put it in front of me in a way that you're describing it in layman's terms. It is just long tail
Yeah.
keywords, but in a different sense.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I mean, a lot of people have heard about it sometimes, but never really understood how to use it. So I'm going to tell you that later on. But also when it comes to creating user-focused content. So how you can do very in-depth topic exploration, how you can make the AI help you to outline and do draft. Because I usually tell people that AI is really, really good when it comes to creating content if you just prompt it in the right way or have a tool to help you with it. But you should always still like use your own brain to read it through and then make it perfect. And of course, like the last point, content optimization. AI can analyze your content, provide recommendations, improvements when it comes to readability, keyword density, and a lot of different best practices. So that is something that could really benefit by using a tool like this. But still, I have something that I want to bring to the people as well. Sorry, it's actually on the next slide, but important considerations. Like, it is a tool. It isn't a magic wand. So let it give you insights, let it give you data, but still use your own human knowledge within your target audience, target industry, and use that to, like I said, make the right calls. And quality control, we always tell our clients as well, like, even though that we can do a lot of the work and the AI is really, really good doing it, always check it to see it's good and it's giving you the exact like structure you would like. But one thing that I think is amazing with good built tools as well is that search engine algorithms constantly evolve and change. So when you're looking at finding a good tool to help you with this, choose a tool that you know have a team of developers that stay on top of these changes. Because I don't know, how about you, Alex? How often do you like keep track on the changes that are being made on the algorithms?
I'm always a few weeks late to the party. I think the it gets taken from underneath me from time to time. It's one of those things where I typically see that there's an algorithm update. Typically, if I have a chat with you, or if something has changed in our website's performance, like we have had
Yeah.
last July and last December, there's been a couple of things that have changed that have triggered us to do a bit more research, and lo and behold, Google has done a little cheeky on us once again.
Mm.
But that's the thing. How do you know if the team and developers do stay on top of these changes? Are you having people reading articles all the time over in your neck of the woods?
Well, I would say when it comes to our development team, I know that we have experts that are researching what's happening with like changes in algorithms and staying on top of that. So when we see that they are doing a major update, for example, that happens a lot of times. We did actually have a big Google spam update just I think it was 2 months ago, or if it was 1 month ago, I'm not completely sure. But then we need to reconfigure so that we can adapt towards that as well.
Hmm,
But I would say, like, if you're talking with a provider, just ask them, how do you stay on top of this?
it's a very good question. I've been asked that a number of times, and I bet you have too. And do you think
Yeah.
with an AI-powered tool, it is easier to stay on top of these changes because you can just reconfigure rather than go into crisis mode and have to understand it as a team?
Yes, I would say that
Yeah,
is
it's the
definitely because
easiest yes you've ever given me.
yeah, definitely. Okay, so some quick do's and don'ts. As I told you in the beginning, do manage your expectations when it comes to AI. And don't use AI for SEO without a good roadmap or a strategy. I'm going to give you a strategy just after this slide as well that you can use. But do use AI to save time. And don't forget that you have a lot of high powered AI SEO tools at your disposal. Wink. uh, and do use it to see what's working or not. Because I know that when you are using AI, you can increase the volume so much. And you can use that to research as well. See what is sticking here and what can you expand upon. But still, do not ignore your own learning because I can see that is a danger with AI. You just let it do almost everything for you. Don't set it and forget it. That is an approach that aren't sustainable at all. Do use it to learn more about your audience. As I told you in the beginning, test to see what's working and then understand it and build upon that. And do not forget why you invested in SEO in the first place. It is a long-term investment. It still is, but you can now get results a little bit faster than before. So I'm going to show you a list that I got from Matt Diggity, who is an SEO expert in the US. By the way, if you haven't heard about him and are interested in this topic or area, please check him out. He's so brilliant and super smart. He built this list of different tiers on what you should focus on working with SEO strategy-wise, from junk to best of the best factors. And we're going to focus on the best of the best. So topical authority, search intent, and micro keywords. I wanted to add a special one because this is something that actually changed my way of thinking of this and it was a game changer. This is one of the tactics that gave me the result that I showed you in the beginning. So it actually goes hand in hand with topical authority. And when you have a good tool at hand, you can also match your search intent with it. So all of them goes together if you're smart doing it. And this is an image we usually use at SEO AI when trying to explain how most of the companies work today. And feel free, tell me in the comment section if this is something that you know you're working with at the moment, that might be something that you want to change. But most of the companies, they have their websites. They choose a couple of high search volume keywords that they are focusing all their content on. Because if they are doing it manually or spending a lot of time on it, it makes sense. Most bang for the buck. But this is what most of the companies do, which makes the competition super high. With micro keywords, you can go beyond those first keywords. The total search volume per individual micro keyword is lower, and that also lowers the competition. And when you have a tool, when you can aim your content towards this and build it in scale, let's say 10, 50, hundreds of pages, then you can get a wider search volume in total.
What is the magic number? What is the magic number? Is it 20, 50, 100? Is it a page per keyword? What are you guys finding that really does make this web grow so big?
I would say that it kind of depends on the industry, of course, because if you have a more niched industry where it might be just a few keywords that actually have any kind of search volume, you can't write thousands of pages. Maybe the magic number is like tens or hundreds of pages. But of course, the more area you cover, the bigger the chance that people find you.
Yeah, that's it. There is opportunities, I guess, when long tail and micro keywords do end up bringing as much traffic as the high traffic short tail keywords. Just so everyone does know the difference between a short tail keyword or just a keyword and a micro keyword, why don't you give a couple of examples just so people really understand what a micro keyword could look like?
Yeah, of course. So a micro keyword could be something like SEO AI for search engine optimization. That is a longer tail keyword instead of SEO AI, basically. Or if I use another example like chatbots. Chatbot is a big keyword. Chatbot for hairdressers. Chatbots for SaaS companies.
For web.
Then we're
web
talking
agencies.
about longer tails.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually have a really good image I'm going to show you like in 2 seconds. But just to touch a little bit about topical authority, because if there's something I would love you guys to really, really take from this call, because if you apply this immediately after this, you could increase the likelihood of you getting a lot of traffic to your website. Because topical authority is a strategy that basically tells the search engine if you are an expert on a topic or not. And if you can see here, low topical authority is that if you have a few blog posts that just briefly touch the subject. High topical authority is that if you have in-depth library, articles covering strategies, and also if you have various content forms like blogs, infographic videos, case studies, you cover basically most of the topic. Then Google will stamp you as an authority, and whatever you post would basically rise to the top of the search because they know that you're already providing good value inside of this topic. So that is the magic fairy dust, basically.
Will the entire website have to be nested under that topic, or can you have topical authority in many different topics under one umbrella?
Well, you can actually have a lot of different topics. Just to take a look at that. So just to show you like how it could practically look. So let's say, for example, here, you have your first topic. Sorry, here. Let's say sports. And then you can expand that to like hot yoga, stretching, Pilates. And with that, we want to then build content ideas on those topics or subtopics, sorry. And you kind of build branches on a deeper and deeper level, which makes it even more coverage. And you can do that for multiple areas as well. But I would say start with focusing on one topic and do it until you see that you're actually getting to that point. Because if you do that, and that was actually the thing that I did on my website, I didn't really realize it until I heard about this strategy. then it was like, my light went up, and I realized that shit, this was the strategy that I applied. And if you do it, you can expect results like this. This is a couple of clients we work with at the moment, and you can see the trend of the traffic growth on all of these together. And I mean, with traffic growth like this, you obviously need a good way to convert that, right, Alex?
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny. It's a good leeway, actually. You start to
Yeah.
mention that. Yeah. Very interesting. Topical authority is something that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, but it does make perfect sense. So if anyone is going to take anything away, is if you can become an expert in what you're talking about in one area, then you will be paid a lot more attention to across the board as well. So I hope that's the case,
Yeah.
and what I'm about to lead into, I guess, as well. Pontus, can I have a chat about some websites and how we can prepare for traffic more or less?
Yeah, sure. Let's go.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, well done. Well done, buddy. It's really interesting
Thank you
stuff
so
to
much.
have a look in.
Thank
And
you.
I did sort of float this idea of, like, what happens, like, what comes first? Is it the chicken or the egg? If you are going to drive all this fantastic traffic and you are going to get a lot of authority and essentially tell Google that whatever you post, people are going to lead to, like we can see your graphs with your linear increase, which in SEO terms and any form of marketing, it's amazing. That's what people want. But is your site going to be ready for all the traffic? And that really
Mm.
is the burning question of how we want to get these in there. So if we think about a website as essentially a bucket of water, and if it has a lot of holes in it, you can keep filling it up with water, with traffic, but it's just going to keep
Mhm.
bouncing off there as well. Just because you get someone onto your website doesn't mean they're going to become a customer, doesn't mean they're going to convert. So you'll hear me say the word conversion about 20,000 times in the next 15 minutes. You'll hear me say the term CRO, and I'll explain exactly what that is. But do yourself a favor before you begin to spike in traffic, then really start to think about what the website is actually looking like. Do you think it's a really high converting website, or do you not think it's a really high converting website as well? There is a pretty market difference. And hopefully, what I can show you in a sec is going to paint the picture and make it really, really, really clear. Now, the only form of marketing that is recommended to start before you optimize your website is SEO. Okay, the reason being is that takes some time to start drumming up some momentum. So the time that it takes AI powered SEO with Pontus and his team, or any form of SEO to show any promise, you have to reconfigure your website to convert.
Yeah.
And that could look like a small change here and there. It could look like a complete overhaul and redesign. It is pretty case by case dependent as well. So obviously here comes the Webtec introduction of only there were a company who designed websites with leading conversion rate tactics from the start. Yeah, enter, and the big smoke screen goes up, of course. Okay, a little bit of a brief introduction about who we are as Webtec. So we like to call ourselves a conversion focused web agency. So essentially what that means is we replace the need of working with a design agency, a development agency, and a conversion agency or respective freelancers who all have their specific price tags and different engagement, and we've wrapped it all under one bubble, more or less. And this is also sort of the insight and the brain power of our founder at Webtec.
Mm.
Coincidentally, is also named Pontus. So
Yeah.
essentially what this means is that we make the website look good, make sure it runs smoothly, and then we focus on turning visitors into customers right from the beginning. So when traffic starts to come in, whether you're choosing to market through AI and inbounds coming in, you're doing aggressive outbound strategies, you're going out and being really important in word of mouth and referrals and face-to-face environments, then you are really ready to utilize essentially everyone that's coming on your website. Not many people are or companies are really doing this all in one space, and especially not at the price range that we operate in. Typically, when we
Mm.
did our research, we found that we are in a humbling, eye-opening amount cheaper than our competitors that offer something similar. So bittersweet in how it gets there. But look, we spend a lot of time working with CRO consultants, conversion rate optimization consultants, to design our product based on data. Okay, so if the data is showing us to do things a certain way, then we're going to do it a certain way to make sure it all makes sense. And we I've worked on more than 1,000 website projects over the past few years, and we consistently book about 250 of our own meetings each month coming through. So we have some
That's
proven record.
impressive.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. Yeah, as it comes through. So we are busy talking to people, and we are trying to get the word out there that this website that looks like it has $1 million price tag on it is really far more achievable and affordable and budget
Mm.
friendly than what people case to be. We've just positioned in the right place for a lot of that to happen. So I'm going to breeze through this in a pretty laissez-faire way, and that's a bit like the way that I am when it comes to certain conversations and things like this. But as it stands, we're going to go through what we're going to cover on what is conversion rate optimization. Going to go through some statistics. Best experience connects the best
Mm.
conversion rate. Essentially, you'll hear me say the word experience quite a few times as well. Go through a bit of a checklist, a quick analysis of some websites, and then how we can. I've left that blank because it is entirely up to people and how we can engage
Yep.
from there, as well as how we can make minor improvements, how we can completely overhaul. It is completely up to up to consideration. So what is conversion rate optimization? So in the simplest format, preparing a website with conversion rate optimization starts at the beginning, and it's the practice of increasing the percentage of people who essentially we convert a desired action. Desired action is a conversion. So that could be purchasing a product, filling out a form, getting a point of contact for investors, could be adding something to the cart, it could just be signing up to a newsletter, anything like that. Big and small changes are often needed in conjunction, and all of this is sort of wrapped up in a bubble of consistent testing, because like we said, the data does rule at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Just to reiterate, it does all start at the beginning. So Pontus, how many website projects have you engaged with where people have kind of said, hey, we really want to focus on increasing conversion straight from the get-go?
Well, actually, a lot of them because people usually, or most of the projects that I'm involved with, they are in this phase. The website is getting a little bit old. Things are changing. They know that they need to do something about it, and they are aware that they could do something to improve it. But usually, the problem is that they don't really know why. What, or not why, what they should do.
Hmm. Yeah. Well, that's it. Well, typically, if the website has been left for so long, like websites kind of have a life cycle. If you just leave them be and don't touch them, which is the wrong thing to do with a website by any means. If you launched a site 5 years ago and still use it without touching it, and it's getting you a lot of business every year,
Yeah.
I pat on the back. If anyone that does that, well done. You've got a very impressive product. But first big changes that needed to be made that, again, follow a data-driven structure that's built to convert. But then
Yeah.
we need to treat the website as like high-performance athletes or cars that
Mm.
we want to get the absolute most out of. So we start to trial minor changes. So people that come to you might be thinking, and we just need to trial the thing here or there. We know we're getting some traffic, we want more, but eventually
Mm.
you'll be shown what works best for you. So whether you just alter text, add trust elements, utilize call to actions properly, or scrap the entire thing and do it from top to bottom, which if you have left your website unneglected or
Mm.
neglect your website for a number of years, probably is the best way to do it, because it is a bit of a broken framework by that point.
You might cover this, Alex, but what is your number one thing? If you would change one thing to improve the conversion, what would it be?
It's about trust. We live
Yeah,
in a world of trust these days. If you can't
makes
you can't
sense.
build that trust, then you're really not going to get anywhere. So providing, I think I've got a
True.
stat about that in just a second, but you can ask everyone. I think it would be important. So just to reiterate, minor 1% changes can make an enormous increase to conversion rate. But let's have a look, zoom out. So the average conversion rate across all industries is about 2%. So let's say on a good website, more or less, 100 people come in. If you get business out of two of them, then you're hitting the average. But there is a lot of people below the average, and the average typically spends quite a bit of money on improving their conversion rate or working with someone who knows how to do it. Here you go. Here's trust.
Wow.
81% of
Yeah.
consumers need to trust a brand to buy from them. Okay, now I would even argue that this statistic could be higher in the right case. The bigger the brand, obviously, the more awareness it has. But if like a lot of people that are probably tuning in or would have even chance to think about this, is they're small, medium enterprises. They're potentially been
Yeah.
around, quite local. So trust is really, really important. Same goes is changing with the times. AI and SEO is a big step forward. It's a big leap forward. So is starting to use video on websites. We can even go a step beyond
Yep.
and create some kind of interactive video, because that also builds an engagement, a relationship, and humanizes and delivers a good experience. What about load speed?
I've
This
s-
is a really, yeah, this is a really interesting one. If I mean, I can ask you on the spot. If you want to engage with the website and you don't have to engage with them, and if their website takes 15 seconds to load, are you going to jump off before it finishes
No, no, no.
loading?
I'm gone.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
gonna hit that back button sooner than or
exactly.
like.
That's exactly right. As soon as I have load up a website that, yeah, that I'm not working with just yet, and it is taking a lot of time, maybe I'm just doing it leisurely, then I kind of want to contact them and say we need to help you with this. So 15% increase in conversion rates are when we can get things really fast on mobile in 2 seconds or less. If people don't know, the majority of your website traffic could be coming from mobile, depending on the industry, depending on your audience, but
Mm.
most visitors, about 50%, are coming in and accessing through mobile these days. And this is a really important one. So along the lines of trust as well, there's another 80% increase in conversion when pain points and questions are addressed on a landing page or a home page, or any page for that
Mm.
matter. Creating an emotional connection. There's some really interesting studies and stats coming out around B2B decision making and how this all goes into play. But first and foremost, if you don't understand your target audience and the problems they have, and you're not addressing their problems or pain points, then are they going to feel like you're a good fit, a trusted fit to work with them, Pontus?
Well, I don't think so.
No, I
No.
don't.
I
I don't think
mean,
so either.
no, no, no. I mean, when you are like at a website, I actually had a good experience about this like yesterday. I was gonna invest in this tool. I needed to figure out like, can they help me solve my problems? And they were actually doing a really good job. They just like put them all out there. Just I think it was like 3 or 4 points that they had, and two of those was my major like pain points that I had. And I was like, yes, got it.
That's it. So that's saying is if you see, let's say 50% of your main pain points in the first few seconds of loading up a page, you're already
Mm.
inclined to be like, hey, I'm going to have a conversation with these people for sure.
Yep.
Yeah. So that sort of goes into hand. So what that's doing is that's delivering a good experience for you. Okay. We live in an experience economy, which means, if you haven't heard that term before, essentially we invest in the best experience. It doesn't always mean that, the best experience lines up with the best product, but if you do have the best products and the best experience, then you are going to saturate the market. Okay. So there is a direct connection between providing the best online experience and conversion rate
Mhm.
success if you are also able to sell or operate in store in person, and your in-person experience is even better,
Definitely.
then the whole brand as a whole, the experience becomes amazing. So a website that is built to convert provides the best experience for your user, because you understand your user, you understand their pain points, you understand the kind of trust building elements you want to see, they understand what they're prompted to do.
Yeah.
And if you create a memorable experience and interact with them, then you can tap into their emotional needs. And that's what CRO is essentially all about. Is we're here to not only make people think rationally, but also trigger an emotional response, because that's how decisions happen quickly. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you think that has anything to do with like how we our behavior thanks to like social media and stuff are changing how we think and act basically?
Absolutely. There is actually a direct correlation between social media and website usage these days as well. Like if we,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. What do we do all day? We sit down on our phones and we scroll. We constantly just inhale 15-second snippets of information, typically video. Why do we see 80% increase in conversions if there's video in there now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
And if you have to go into a mega menu and click to separate pages, it's gonna not provide a good experience. But if you can
Yeah.
address everything that people need to see in a certain way, then people will invest in the best experience for them. Okay.
Okay, quick question to the people. I just have to ask this because we have a lot of people online at the moment. Am I the only person, when you're entering a website and not seeing an explainer video or something like that, immediately feel like, nope, I'm good. Hit the back button.
Mm.
I don't know. I might be special in that area, but it would be so amazing to just hear like how people are, because you know like this 60 second, like 1.5 minute video you're explaining. Love it.
Yeah. 60 seconds, that's a stretch even. I even think that's a bit long.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But call me fussy. But it's probably because I look at thousands of websites for a living and I can see. But putting a video on the background that goes for a minute and cycles through and their logo pops up at the end, that's not going to provide a good experience or a good conversion at the end of it as well. But short form, if we think about how our brains are wired in, if we are going to use some fantastic video, maybe in something that's
Yeah.
interactive that breaks it into segments. And I have a really interesting tool that I put into every single one of my demos that I can show you. But yeah, 60 to 90
Cool.
seconds, that's the sweet spot if you want to get some key information across, because it also doesn't slow your website down. If we were to
Sure.
have a quick look at a really basic checklist, okay, and I started this out with about 15 items on here, but I've got it down to 6. Okay, first of all, in order to get a good conversion rate on your website from the get-go, time to patch the holes in the bucket, we need a really clear offer to quickly show what's special about your service or product. And like I said, for me, build trust. Okay, nothing happens without trust. It could look like
Yeah.
testimonials, statistics, awards you've won, reviews, case studies, all sorts of things. And then scroll before click. It's user behavior, it's human psychology these days. This is the way our brains are wired. We need to guide people to keep scrolling, and then eventually we'll hit that sweet spot. It could be scroll for 1 or 2 seconds, or maybe scroll for 15. If we get to 15, the likelihood that they've read everything on the page is pretty big. But we need to make sure they can navigate around the website. If they get to the bottom of the website or the page that they're on and they haven't got what they need to convert, then we need to prompt them to keep going, make finding things really
Mhm.
easy, not just in the menu. And that's where using great content, great media, and strong call to actions come into play. Like you've got a
Yeah.
web on your picture, I could have also done a web for mine, where it was all in connected, where we want people to essentially
Yeah.
jump in between every single part of the website if they need to. But if we can convert them just by introducing them to what we are, then that's really, really, really crucial. A bit more technical, I'll fly through these because we're not talking technicalities. Make sure your site is nice and fast. If you do have a live chat option where you can offer real-time help, it's fantastic. Short forms, you don't want to have a 15 15 box contact form. People again have a low attention spans, whether we like it or not. Instagram and TikTok have made us into goldfish brains a little bit. So making sure you have great SEO, keep it mobile friendly, and test your website, test what's working. Did you get all that in there, Pontus? Am I talking very quickly?
No, no, that's good. I usually tell people I'm gonna talk fast, so listen fast.
Yeah, exactly. Keep your ears on, fast ears only. Okay, this is when we can start to have a look at some stuff. So all that talking and reading off the screen is done, but we are going to have a look at how some things work. So Pontus has actually got the cursor because we're sharing the presentation from his laptop at the moment. But let's take a look at some of the world's best converting websites. And I've just randomly picked a few that I typically use as examples. And what we do see on a lot of these sites is they typically follow the same sort of trends. So up in the top left-hand corner, we've got a transparent menu to not guide them there. So we don't want people to instantly go to the screen onto the menu. If all my red boxes went around there, your eyes would be drawn to the description, the green button up in the right-hand corner, or the call to action below the description there as well. So we're describing what the offer is. We're showing, hey, this is what we can do. Here's the actions we want you to take. We have a few options there. And here's a video that explains it, a 60 to 90-second video, just like you said, something that really grasps the intention. And there's a
Yeah.
chatbot down in the right-hand corner, and we're guiding people to scroll, okay? Salesforce is a really, really good example of a high converting website that encourages people to keep going. If you head away to their sectors page, this is where they jam trust down your throat. And this is really crucial as well. A really trusting way of describing this is how we make the customers a priority, see our customer stories, and then hear our logos for trust and all sorts of things there as well. Call to action always is going to be there. At any point on their website, you have an opportunity to press. So Salesforce is great, but there are definitely similarities if we look at Shopify as well. Up in the top left-hand corner, what do we see? Not much, a menu that doesn't really want to be clicked. But in the right-hand corner, a big orange button, big orange, my colorblind, big white button that says start free trial. Bottom left-hand corner, what does it say again? It wants us to start a free trial. So if we make it really crisp in how we design based on user experience and a journey and the story that we want to tell, following these certain design trends and the data that backs them up, then we see really clear similarities. Text on the left, a lot of the time, call to action stacked underneath, and guiding people down to scroll more or hearing a little bit more about what we do. Shopify is a pretty high converting website. They got a lot of brand awareness, so as a whole entity, they're pretty high converting now as well. If we go to the next one, WebFX. These guys are probably an example of my favorite tactics of CRO on the website as well. So if your site doesn't look anything like these by utilizing call to actions on the header that line up, you don't want to choose 5 different call to actions. If your menu is your main priority, if you're not using any trust building elements, then the likelihood of your website converting is pretty low. So let's digest this super quickly. These guys are amazing. Top left-hand corner, they can see, and they're very transparent, that we've generated over $6 billion in revenue for our clients. That's really trusting. That makes me think, oh, wow, that's the real deal. Don't go to our menu. Once again, get a proposal at our call to actions in the top right-hand corner and underneath the hero section there as well. And the eye-catching graphic, if you look closely, is really jammed full of trust as well. So here's the total amount of leads we've generated. Here's our testimonials. Here's our calls generated. And just so you really know, the first thing you probably read on the website is what we offer. We're going to drive revenue through digital marketing, and this is what we do. Okay. And all we want you to do is get a proposal, enter your website, and trust us, because straight away, if I got on here, I mean, I don't know about you, buddy, but I would probably just type in my website straight away. If I knew that these guys were in my ballpark of budget, I wouldn't even scroll.
No.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive, actually. I mean, so much valuable information in just like the first screen. I mean, that is one of the obstacles that I myself have like faced. Like, how can I build my hero section like this image we have right now and pack it with all the informations without making it look like, yeah.
I can show you. You should get on a call with me, and I'll show you how we can do it.
Yeah.
No, but it's
Sounds
very
like-
true. If we didn't have the red boxes there, then it's really clear of what actions we want people to take on WebFX.
Yeah.
If you scroll
Definitely.
though, which people do, it's trust after trust after trust. So we've got some statistics, we've got some logos and awards, and then we've got some more numbers that back it up as well. So these guys are top tier in terms of converting their website visitors. And they sell a lot of SEO and digital marketing, so they're attracting a lot of inbound leads. We can't obviously just talk about what other people are doing. A lot of our methodology is based off our research. So we look at big competitors, I wouldn't say competitors, big fantastic examples of CRO savvy clients, and these guys like WebFX and Salesforce, and even if you look at AWS, Meta, Shopify, they're spending a lot of money every year to make sure they're making the right decisions. So following that, this is what a finished project with Webtec could end up looking like as well. If you have a look up the top, very similar to them, we have, don't go here, there's a pretty invisible menu, but then we've got call to actions on the top right hand corner, the bottom left hand corner, something in the middle as well as a little bonus, and an eye-catching graphic there as well. Plus, we're super clear on what they offer. If you come on here and you're someone who is running a Discord community and you want to monetize it, then you are exactly in their target audience. For me, I don't manage a Discord community, so I knew straight away I'm not going to waste my time on here. But the people that are qualified are easily there. It's equally as important to unqualify unrelevant leads to qualify the relevant leads, right?
Yeah, and we actually have a really good question from Lauren here. She asked in the chat, like, how far up or down on the page should trust building elements be? Should it be before shoppable elements or after?
It should be all
What do you
over.
think?
It should be
Yeah.
top to bottom, intertwined every single place. Yeah, Lauren, I'll put my link into a book and have a conversation with me so I can show you what we do about it as well to make it nice and easy. Because there's no perfect way to do it, because everyone's website is different and everyone's target audience is different. So that's why we do see similarities, but we don't see everyone with the same website. But we do get used to seeing patterns. Okay. So that's why if we are guided to scroll, we build some trust. And then these guys set a really easy expectation of what they want their audience to do. Hey, there's 3 steps that we can take here. All we have to
Yeah.
do is click this button. What we're doing, I remember if we said if we gave them a complex way of getting engaged, then it's not going to be easy to show them how we can do it as well. And then that gets finished up down the bottom as they back up their value with their unique selling points. We talk about showing potential outcome. That's trust building in itself. It gets people excited, as well as the engaging graphic along the way as well. But that's something that we're looking at here as well. And these guys constantly evolving in terms of how their website is performing as well, and as is ours. As it
I
stands,
actually like it.
yeah. If we have a good look at our website nice and quickly, we'll get through this. We obviously do our own tactics in terms of SEO, conversion rate optimization as well. Don't go to the top of our screen. And now there is a dog in the video that always does increase the conversion rate, and my colleague Ed looks very, very surprised there. Straight away, we make a statement that builds trust at the top. So we're a 5-star web development agency. We say what we do. We're using an interactive video that has CTAs and a chatbot all wrapped up in one. And then we're also saying what we offer, building trust and calling people to action straight away as well. So making it really clear that we've jam-packed this with, here's your intention. If you want to boost your leads, then please get in contact with us because we have the proven track record.
Yeah.
Then we back it up with some trust and we remind people that this is our track record and we have a proven way of solving these for our clients. And then we start to really build in the trust elements with here's our reviews. If you scroll down even further, there's more call to actions and there's more statistics that address pain points of our audience as well. Now, keep in mind, we book 250 meetings a month for our sales team. So something we're doing correctly. And that's because we continue testing things on our website. So we put up this landing page thinking, hey, it looks really good. Let's try this out. But we found it had a 3% conversion rate. That's slightly over average. But if we were to send 100,000 people there instead of 1,000, it probably would decrease more and more and more and more. So what we did is we changed it up to something that still looks modern, but we threw a few options out there, and this had a 733% better conversion rate than version 1.
Wow.
Went up to 22%. So if you take 3%, if you're converting 3 out of 100 people and all of a sudden converting 22 out of 100 people that come to your website, then 7 times more revenue coming in just based on
That's
a simple
impressive.
change. And this is actually probably a little bit easier put together as well, but we needed to test it to be sure as well. So all wrapped up.
Yeah, I actually think like testing is the name of the game as well when it comes to this, because I know I've been working a lot with conversion rate optimization before as well. And usually you should test a lot of different aspects as well. I guess you guys are doing this all the time as well.
Constantly. Yeah, we work with conversion consultants, A/B testers, and we do a lot of our own A/B testing to understand what's working. If you don't test, then you're not going to know what's going to happen. So we really, the data does speak for itself. And if the data was saying something different and design a website a different way, then everyone's website would look different, but it is all pointing in the same direction as well. So I will drop my link into the comments. Look, if you are interested, if you just want some feedback on your site, just to have a quick conversation and see some suggestions on how we can make things happen in our opinion, more or less, with a customized demo. This is all completely free of charge, 45 minutes. There's no obligations at all. If you just want to have a conversation with me for 45 minutes about some tips, feel free to book in. By all means. But yeah, let's patch those holes in all of those buckets, those leaky buckets and funnels before you start to drive traffic there. Otherwise, you're going to leave serious money on the table. And if you're driving relevant, qualified leads there, then those are the last kind of people you do not want to land.
Yeah. And also for all of you guys that are now interested in when it comes to using AI in your way of working with driving that traffic, we do have developed our own AI tool that I briefly touched in the beginning. And as I promised, I actually have a gift to you guys. So I have created a very special video series that I step by step walk you through exactly how I grew my traffic from that low amount to, it was actually, I counted 2,760% increase So if you are interested in that, you can just scan this QR code. You will get a link where you can sign up and get that video series. And with that said, nice work, Alex, and thank you everyone for joining the call today.
Thank you very much, Mr. Pontus. It was wonderful to touch base and to have a good look at how everything is going in your neck of the woods. Very exciting things to look forward to. What I'm going to do is just drop some links to both of our calendars if you do want to touch base with us in email. But we're going to be pretty active in connecting with everyone who hopefully joined in to the webinar, and we can have a chat with how we can keep things going. But Pontus, should we wrap it up there?
Yeah, I think we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Pleasure to have you on board. See you later. Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.